Yes, dear students, we were actually studying about liberalization, privatization and globalization. Okay. So, trade and investment policy reforms. As we have already studied that in 1991, India government introduced a new economic policy in order to develop or in order to bring transformation in our economy. So, here what we are studying trade and investment policy reforms in order to bring transformation in the industrial sector. Okay. So, trade and investment policy reforms, so that more our country can do better business with other countries, also inside the country our businessmen can do better way more business. Okay. So, trade and investment policy reforms, liberalization of trade and investment regime was initiated to increase international competitiveness of industrial production and also foreign investment and technology into the economy. Yes, of course, that was the goal of new economic policy. So, the trade and investment policy also aiming that what increase in international competitiveness. Of course, nowadays you know that globalization occurred in almost every countries, it is going on. So, we also wanted to, our companies wanted to do or competitive with the international companies. There are many international companies now operating within our economy. So, at that time what happened, we also wanted to give better training, professionalism, etc. to our companies. We want trained, highly qualified, skilled laborers and managerial staffs. We also wanted to manage our companies professionally. So, we wanted to compete with international companies. So, therefore, we need to give better education, training, etc. to our people. Okay. So, nowadays we cannot avoid this international globalization we cannot avoid. So, because every countries, almost every countries in the world have opened their economy for other countries market. Okay. Now, Indian market is also, now you may go outside and watch in the market what is happening, almost all global products from other countries are available in our country. So, more products are available in our country. Okay. Foreign goods are easily available in our country. That means a globalization already started everywhere. Okay. So, the government, the Indian government, in our government changed its economic policy in 1991. So, privatization, liberalization and globalization happened. Our market opened for foreign market. So, nowadays you can see so many foreign goods are available in our market. The same way we are also exporting more products from India to other countries. So, Indian products are also available in global market. Okay, that is the benefits of globalization. So, what we want? We wanted to, by changing this trade and investment policy, the reforms we did, changes we applied, so that more foreign investment we could invite. Okay. The technology changed, marketing ideas changed. So, the aim was also to promote the efficiency of local industries. So, our local industries can also learn many things from global market and its companies. More foreign companies are operating nowadays in our country, so that our local industries can also get more training and more knowledge by watching the international companies and their marketing strategies. So, adoption of modern technology is happening. So, it is easy nowadays to do business. So, there is a global market. Our investors, our business class people, also our small scale industries can learn many things from international companies. That is happening. So many international companies are operating their service, they are actually doing their service better way in our country. So, everything happened only because of this trade and investment policy reforms. In 1991, India government introduced new economic policy. So, liberalization, privatization and globalization happened in India. Indian economy opened, Indian economy became more flexible. Okay? So, we can move on to the next point, next page. In order to protect domestic industries, of course, domestic area means within this territory of India, that is what actually our domestic area. In order to protect domestic industries, we have our own industries in our country. That means our citizens are running all those industries. We wanted to protect them. India was following a regime of quantitative restrictions on imports. Now, you know that actually according to the new economic policy, I have already explained to you that liberalization happened in many areas. So, in the field of industrialization also the changes occurred. Okay, industrial sector is actually experiencing lot of changes. Okay. So, what happened? The importing, there is no restriction for imports now. You can import many goods from other countries. Now, you see lot of Chinese products are available in our market. From other countries also, so many products are coming to our country, because anyone can import any goods nowadays. Any goods means for our citizens usage. Okay. So, explosives products we cannot actually bring. We cannot bring chemicals, etc. That we need to take permission, extra permission from the government. So, the import export, there is no quantitative restriction. You can export so much products, so many products you can export, no problem. There is no restriction at all. Quantitative restriction 1 kg, 2 kg, or you can even export tons or quintals, tons or anything like that. Okay. So many products you can also export. This was encouraged through tight control over imports and by keeping the tariff very high. So, what happened actually? Before it was actually, there were actually some restrictions, but nowadays what happened? These policies reduced the efficiency in competitiveness at that time. So, there were actually control, but nowadays what is? There is no control at all. So, the market, the business class people are very free. They can export products, they can import products from other countries. Before what happened? Before 1991, there were so many restrictions. So, that is why Indian economy could not do well or could not perform well before 1991, 90s. Okay. So, what happened? Nowadays a lot of changes you can see in our economy. Everything changed. Okay. Now, what happened is dismantling of quantitative restrictions, removed such type of restrictions. Now, we can import, export any products, so many products in whatever quantity we can export. That is also reduction of tariff rates, removal of licensing procedures for imports. Import licensing was abolished. So many hindrances were there, so many rules and regulations were there before. So, all those actually hampered our business. Okay, that made lot of stumbling blocks in our economy, so that economy could not perform well. But nowadays all those hindrances, all those unwanted laws our government removed. So, the economy is working freely nowadays. Okay. So, quantitative restrictions on imported and manufactured goods were removed. So, now we can export any manufactured goods to other countries. We can also export, we can also import agricultural products. Okay. So, everything is free nowadays, especially after 2001. So, April 2001 onwards, the industrial sector, production houses find its golden period. Okay. Export duties have been removed to increase the competitive position of Indian goods in the international markets. Now Indian goods we are exporting so many goods from India to other countries. So export duties have been removed. So before 2001 what was there? Before 2001 there were export duties applied. Okay, it was a huge amount. Okay, we wanted to deposit in the government. Okay, that was the taxes, export duties. Okay, then now what happened? In order to increase or improve or enhance the competitiveness mindset within our country or economy, our production houses will improve the competitiveness capabilities. That is why export duties removed. Export duties removed, so that freely Indian goods can move to other countries. Any businessman can export his product. Okay, so globalization, liberalization and privatization helped our economy to expand. That's what. Now we can move on to the next point. Work these out. Give an example each of nationalized bank, private foreign bank, foreign investment institutions, foreign institutional investment banks, etc., and a mutual fund, etc. You know, I need not explain to you what are the main leading private banks in our economy in India. There are many private banks like Federal Bank. Okay, then Axis Bank is there. Okay, then you know that actually some nationalized banks like Canara Bank, SBI, Punjab National Bank, so many banks are there. You need to find it, search it about this. Okay, then so many other foreign banks or foreign investment institutions are also serving in this country or providing their service in our country. That also you need to search. Okay, there are many mutual funds are working in our country. That also you need to search. So visit a bank in your locality with your parents. You can, of course, you must at least once you should visit the bank and find its day-to-day activities. What are the activities going inside the bank that you need to observe. Okay, banks mainly they lend money to others, money lenders they are actually. Then they receive deposits. You can also do transaction, deposit, and also you can transfer your money to other persons. So many activities are taking place in every banks. Banks also give loans, different types of loans they provide. They provide house loan, they also provide vehicle loan. So many loans are there. Okay, that you can check with. Okay, even gold loan is there. If you want more money for your agricultural work or any other activities, then you can deposit your you can put your gold or valuable things in the bank, and after that you can take loan. Okay, so observe and find out the functions it performs, the bank's performance. You can search about every bank's performance. Of course, almost all banks are doing same performance only, because they are dealing with the money. They are providing loans, they lend money to others, they also receive deposits, and for that you get interest. So savings they encourage. Discuss the same with your classmates and prepare a chart on it. You can prepare a chart on it. You can make notes. What are the activities, day-to-day activities taking place in a bank? That also you understood. We can move now to other point. Find out from your parents if they pay taxes. If yes, why do they do so and how? Yes, of course, we need to pay taxes. Then only government get enough money to perform its day-to-day activities. They also wanted to do lot of developmental activities, infrastructure development our government wants to do. Our government wants to give free education to millions of children in our country. Okay, the basic amenities our government wanted to increase in our country or provide in our country. Our skill-based education our government wants to promote in our country. Science and technology, transportation, so many areas are there. Our government wants to work on it. So they need money. From where they get money? They get money from public enterprises as well as the taxes. Okay, so that is why government introduced a new fiscal policy. Yesterday we have studied already about this. Fiscal policy means the tax related policies. okay. So that actually GST, our government introduced GST in 2017. So what happened? After implementing this GST, our India government is also receiving millions and millions of rupees every day. So that Indian economy is changing fastly. That is what you needed to understand. Do you know that for a very long time countries used to keep silver and gold as reserves to make payments abroad? Yes. Okay. So every country have their own, they are keeping their wealth in their treasuries. They have silver, gold, etc. Okay, that they are holding in their country. Find out on what form do we keep our foreign exchange reserves, and find out from newspapers, magazines and economic survey how much foreign exchange reserves India had during the last year. Okay. India is also having foreign exchange, foreign money, foreign, of course dollars we need to keep. Okay. So India wants to keep all those foreign money in our country. Why? We wanted to buy some products from other countries, then we wanted to pay, we wanted to pay them the money. If we import some products from other country, of course we wanted to import petroleum products from other countries, then we wanted to pay to them. How do we pay? They take only dollars, so that we wanted to increase export in our country, then only we get more dollars from other country. You got it? So that is why the government wants to increase the productivity in our country. Goods and services needed to be produced more. Goods need to be produced more. Productivity must be increased, enhanced in our country. Okay. So we can move on to the next point now. So these are some countries. Okay, you need to check the currency of different countries. Mainly USA, of course they are using dollar, USD, US dollar. Then this UK pound, Japan yen, okay, China renminbi, then Korea won, Singapore dollar. Singapore and America is using dollars only. Germany euro they are using. You can check. That's value of 1 rupee or unit of a foreign currency in Indian rupee, that you can check. Okay. So because actually every day its rate might be changing, rate is changing. So it's not that much important now. Now we can move on to the another point, privatization. Privatization, of course, there are many private organizations, companies, institutions are working freely in our country. Okay, it implies shedding of the ownership or management of a government-owned enterprises. Okay, what happened? Indian government is also running many organizations in our country. Public enterprises are there. Government companies are converted into private companies in 2 ways. So what is happening nowadays? Many government companies are converted into private companies. There are also the same time public as well as private cooperation is happening. Okay, jointly they are running some enterprises. Okay, the same time many companies, public companies, our government doesn't want it to continue all those companies with them. Okay, so what is happening? They are handovering all those companies to private companies. Privatization is happening. Why do we want to privatize our public enterprises? Why do we want? Because by withdrawal of the government from ownership and management of public sector companies, okay, why? It will provide a lot of changes. Privatization is also providing benefits. So many benefits our country can get if they privatize the public enterprises. What will happen? Why? What will happen? Privatization of the public sector enterprises by selling of part of the equity of public sector enterprises to the public is known as disinvestment. Disinvestment is happening. Selling or disinvestment is happening. Our government doesn't want to invest more into public enterprises, doesn't want to invest more into, because sometimes that most of the time public enterprises are not doing well. not doing well. There are many reasons for that actually. There is no efficient management. Okay, sometimes bureaucrats are managing, sometimes politicians are managing our public enterprises. They are not performing well. So most of the time what will happen? All those enterprises face debt, more debts. Government put more money, but the enterprises are not giving any return. There is no benefits at all. The purpose of the sale according to the government, what our government say, was mainly to improve financial discipline and facilitate modernization. Of course, the private organizations attract modernization better than the government. The government, when government is managing a company, means that the politicians or the bureaucrats manage it. They may not show that much interest to run all those public enterprises. They think that okay, it is government, so it can go like this. Easy going is happening with the private enterprises. They are not competent. Of course, we have some evidence that BSNL was not doing good. Then what happened? So the private companies, they are providing better service, like Airtel is providing better service, Jio is providing better service when we compare with this BSNL. BSNL is not doing that much good. We Indians, we want the government enterprises must do well, good, but that is not happening always. Okay, so financial discipline and facilitate modernization. It was also envisaged the private capital and managerial capacities could be effectively utilized to improve the performance of the public sector units. Okay, so when we hand over the public sector units, so many people are working there, so the government wants to protect them. When we hand over all those public sector to the private organizations, they can manage well, better way. The modernization they will apply. Then what will happen? They can improve the capabilities, managerial capabilities could be effectively utilized. Private capital, more private capital such organization can attract. Also the skill development will happen, then improve the performance of all such public sector units better way. Okay, so that is what actually happening when we do disinvestment or privatization. Privatization, so many private companies are doing well in our economy, all they are generating lot of wealth and giving lot of tax to our country, GST of course. Now Indian economy is the 5th largest economy in the world. Why? Because of this privatization, liberalization and globalization. Indian economy is developing, lot of changes, fundamental changes already occurred, all those are visible nowadays. In the field of infrastructural development it is happening, in the field of education it is happening, also in the field of transportation, education, as well as in the health field it is visible. So many changes occurred in our country. Everything happened only after the implementing new economic policy in 1991. We can move on to the next point, Navaratnas and public enterprise policies. Okay. Navaratnas and public enterprise policy. What is Navaratnas and public enterprise policy? As I said you, there are many public companies we turned into private organizations. Okay, we changed it into private organization, but still India government is keeping many companies with them. Okay, for example, Indian Railway is still with the Indian government. In privatization didn't happen in Indian Railway. All Indian Airways, okay, is also with the Indian government. Okay, there are many, of course, AIR, All India Radio is with them. So okay, NDPC is with the government. Okay, so many examples are there. Then Port Trust of India is there. Okay, then like that you must have read in your childhood about the famous Navaratnas or nine jewels in the imperial court of King Vikramaditya. You must have heard about it. You might have heard already about this. Navaratnas. They were scholars. They worked in the imperial court of King Vikramaditya, who were eminent persons of excellence in the field of art, literature and knowledge. All these Navaratnas, 9 jewels, we can say 9 great personalities they were. They were eminent persons of excellence in the fields of art, literature and knowledge. In order to improve efficiency, infuse professionalism, so our public enterprises, we wanted to bring changes in our public enterprises. Okay, there are many public departments. Okay, public enterprises, public sector companies are in India. So we divided them like this, Navaratnas. We acknowledged them like that, Navaratnas. Okay, so what we wanted to do, we wanted to improve efficiency according to their efficiency, infuse professionalism. We wanted to improve professionalism in every employees, okay, and enable them to compete with more effectively in the liberalized global environment. Nowadays we have already explained this. I have already explained this. We have already studied about this. Globalization already took place. So we needed to compete with the international companies, so that we need perfect training, professionalism we need more skilled, highly talented people. Okay, so the global business environment is changing. The government identifies public sector enterprises and declare them as Maharatnas. So they divided our companies as Maharatnas, Navaratnas and Mini Ratnas. They were given greater managerial and operational autonomy. So they get autonomous power. Okay, individual power, something like that. They go to their own freedom. They can take any decision as their own way. So okay, so Maharatnas, Navaratnas and Mini Ratnas, 3 levels of companies are there. They were given greater managerial and operational autonomy in taking various decisions to run the company efficiently and thus increase their profits. So of course every company wants to increase their profit. Profit making is their motto. But these are public sector companies, enterprises, but their ultimate aim is not to make profit, but service is their business. Service must be there. They wanted to protect the citizens' welfare. That also must happen. So government wants to ensure the welfare of people better way. The same time they don't want to go the companies in loss. Effectively, efficiently they wanted to manage the companies. Okay, so they also wanted to increase the profit. Okay, but public welfare must be there. It is not like private companies. Okay, private companies ultimate motto is only profit making, but public sector companies, there are public sector enterprises or public sector units, their ultimate aim is not alone making the profit. Okay, they wanted to give more public welfare too. Okay, they wanted to take care of the public. So greater operational, financial and managerial autonomy has also been granted to profit making enterprises referred to as Mini Ratnas. So Mini Ratnas are actually some companies that falls in the list of Mini Ratnas. They are making profit. Okay, they are not in loss. Profit making enterprises, public enterprises. Their another name is Mini Ratnas. They comes under this category. Okay, now we can move to the next point. Enterprises referred to as Mini Ratnas. Now we are going to study about Mini Ratnas. The central public sector enterprises are designated with different status. A few examples of public enterprises with their status are as follows. Okay, now we can see that three different status and the public enterprises of that categories. Maharatnas, which are the companies, which are the public enterprises, falls in this list. Indian Oil Corporation, IOC, then Steel Authority of India. These are mainly in the list of Maharatnas. Of course, they got the highest status we can say. Okay. Then Navaratnas. This is Maharatnas, this is Navaratnas. Hindustan Aeronautics Limited, Mahanagar Telephone Nigam Limited. These two companies are example for Navaratnas. Then Mini Ratnas. What are the Mini Ratnas? Which are the companies come under this category? Mini Ratnas. Bharat Sanchar Nigam Limited, Airport Authority of India, Indian Railway Catering and Tourism Corporation Limited, Indian Railway. All these are Mini Ratnas. Okay. Many of these profitable public sector enterprises were originally formed during 1950s and 1960s. Some companies we have already mentioned here. All those companies came into existence. When did they start? When the government started? In 1950s or in 1960s it started. When self-reliance was an important element of public policy. Why the government started all these companies? Because the Indian government wants to bring more development in our country. The productivity we wanted to increase, more developmental process must take place in our country. That is why the government started all these companies. At that time, self-reliance was an important element of public policy. We don't want to depend on others. We don't want to depend on another country for very basic needs. Okay. That is why all these companies our government started in order to make India a self-sufficiency, in order to being self-sufficiency in our country. Okay. We don't want to depend on other country. They were set up with the intention of providing infrastructure and direct employment to the public. All these companies generated employment opportunities in this nation. Also changed or provided more infrastructural development. Infrastructure development happened in India. So, what happens actually? So many changes occurred in our country after gaining freedom in 1947. Why? Our Indian government and its policy transformed India's economy. That is what actually happened. During the time of Britishers rule in our country, the country's economy was not doing good. Even India faced famine many times. Even food production was not good. Okay. So, the export was actually not good. We were importing more products from Britain, also from some countries. Okay. So that we categorized these companies, main companies like this. Okay. Then government is focusing more, giving more attention and promoting business or more production in our country. So, lot of changes occurred in our country. So, public sector is getting expanding more areas. Some companies didn't do well. So, all those actually for example, some hotels, India started Ashok hotels like that. So, after that they sold that all those hotels. Okay. So, Indian government is not keeping all those hotels nowadays. So some public organizations they sold to or they privatized. They have given to private sector. So, that private sector as well as the government is doing good. Okay. After 1991, what happened? More private organizations started more business in India, because you know that more our economic policy changed, so that more commercial banks started giving loans, encouraging industrialization, promoting more business opportunities, giving training, industrial promotion, industrial training, skilled promotion, skilled education, more skill based education our government is promoting. Banks are also providing loan, business loan is available. Nowadays Mudra loan is available. If you wanted to start a business, you can contact the bank and ask for Mudra loan. Even Prime Minister Roskar Yojana, now also the government is, Prime Minister is supporting unemployment youths, they can start some business. So many things are happening nowadays in our country. So overall development is happening in our country. So India is transforming, transition occurred in 1991 onwards, we can say. Okay, so yes, dear students, now we are learning about globalization. What are the importance of globalization? Indian economy open for world market, that is what actually globalization means. Okay, so although globalization is generally understood to mean integration of the economy of the country with the world economy, now you know that there are many world's best international companies are working in our country. They are serving in our country and they are doing their day-to-day activities in our country. So although globalization is generally understood to mean integration of the economy of the country with the world economy, okay, Indian economy open for the world economy. So world's leading companies are available in our country too nowadays. They are doing their operation in our country better way nowadays. For example, Coca-Cola is there, Miranda is there, so many companies are, Samsung is there. So all those are actually international companies. Okay, now they are working or operating their services in our country. So it is a complex phenomenon actually. This is not a natural phenomenon. Okay, this is a complex phenomenon. It is an outcome of the set of various policies that are aimed at transforming the world towards greater interdependence and integration. So this is, we can say, that is one of the best benefits of globalization. What are the advantages of globalization is that actually what is happening, the various policies changed so that transforming the world towards greater, so that what is happening, transforming the world towards greater interdependence and integration. So integration is happening. So now we can say world is a family, one family is there, we are all, there is no difference. Every countries are breaking its boundaries, so that actually the companies from other countries also working here, and from India, there are many companies, Indian companies are operating in many other countries. So that we will come to know, we will study all those later. It involves creation of a network and activities transcending economic, social and geographical boundaries, breaking all these boundaries. So companies from India can serve their services, they can provide their services in every countries in the world. So because of this globalization, that is one of the best advantages, we can say. So globalization attempts to establish links in such a way that the happenings in India can be influenced by events happening miles away. So every country is actually breaking the boundaries. Okay, now you know that actually because of the social medias, we can get every information as early as possible from other countries. So, okay, it is happening actually. So within a minute we will come to know what is happening in London, what is happening in New York, or what is happening in Australia, etc. So the globalization happened, more companies are working here, and globalization happened in every field, even in the field of transportation, and even in the field of mass media, and even in the field of industrialization. globalization occurred. Our market opened for foreign companies, that's all. Okay. So, lot of changes is taking place, occurring in our country as well as in many other countries. That is what actually globalization means, because we wanted to bring development, overall development in our country. So, we too agreed that globalization, privatization and liberalization. So, almost all countries are nowadays following this globalization. Okay. So, Indian products are available in almost all countries. Okay. Our country here also it is available, other countries products in our country it is available. You see, when you go to the market and you will see lot of products from China and from other countries, even from America, Britain, Germany, all those countries products are available in our country. So, we can move on to the next point. Here it is actually outsourcing. We have discussed about privatization, liberalization. We also discussed or understood about globalization. Now, we are going to study about, or we are going to know more about outsourcing. What is outsourcing? This is one of the important outcomes of the globalization process. Okay. This is also the outcome, one of the important outcomes of the globalization process, outsourcing the work to other country. In outsourcing, a company hires regular services from external sources. For example, many American companies outsource their work to other countries like India. Indians are doing American companies work from our domestic area. So, all these companies are operating within this nation and doing work for other country. That is what actually outsourcing. American companies outsource their work to India. Indian companies, they share their work. So, that means in outsourcing, a company hires, for example, an American company can hire Indians, hires a regular service from external sources. Okay. Mostly from other countries, which was previously provided internally or from within the country. Nowadays, what is happening? Before it in America, what happened? Many American companies were giving contract to other companies in America alone. Okay. But nowadays, after this globalization, what is happening? From America, American companies are providing their services to, they are outsourcing their work to India. They give their work to Indian companies, so that the Indian companies can perform well, and after that return the completed work to American companies, so that they can save huge amount. That is what actually, which was previously provided internally or from within the country, like legal advice, computer services, advertisement, security, etc., each provided by respective departments of the company. As a form of economic activity, outsourcing has intensified in recent times because of the growth of fast modes of communication, particularly the growth of information technology, IT field. Mainly IT field outsourcing is happening. So, many American companies outsource their work to other third world countries. So, we can say we are not a developed country, we are on the way to development. Okay. We are developing faster, so that actually we are also receiving more work from other countries. So, our Indian companies perform all those work properly and complete the work properly and return to the companies which are working in America, which are operating in America. Many of these services, such as voice based business process, popularly known as BPOs or call centers, are there. So, they keep record keeping companies, of course. So, what we understood in this area, it is this paragraph is talking about outsourcing. Outsourcing is also the part of globalization, by which what is happening? So, many countries of developed nation do make a contract with India like countries, and many companies here in India are ready to do work for foreign countries. So, that what is happening? So, lot of employment opportunities take place in our country. Okay. with limited wages we can our skilled and professional people can work within India. They need not go to America. American companies can also save their fund because for less amount they can complete their work in India. So that what they do, they share their work to Indian companies. Indian companies perform it very well and they return the final work to the America. So that is actually known as outsourcing the work to other countries. I trust you understood this point. Outsourcing, this is one of the important outcomes of the globalization process. In outsourcing, a company hires regular services from external sources. Okay, so mostly from other countries it is happening, which was previously provided internally. In America, what happened? Previously, the American companies in America was giving this contract, their work, external work, their excessive work to other companies in America, to other people in America. But nowadays what is happening? Many American as well as Britain's companies, American companies, Australian companies, what they do? They share their excessive work to Indian companies, so that Indian companies perform it very well and return the work to the American company. So that what they can do, they also get benefit, we also get benefit. Indian companies get benefits. Why? Because you know that they are generating a lot of job opportunities. So okay, American companies can serve their amount, they need not pay more amount. If it is in America, they need to spend a huge amount. Okay, that is in dollars, but what is happening in India, it is in Indian rupee. So they can, all those international companies can save more money if they outsource their work to other countries like India. So many BPOs are working here in India. Then what is actually global footprint? Owing to globalization, you might find many Indian companies have expanded their wings to many other countries. See, many Indian companies are nowadays operating in foreign land, okay, foreign countries. For example, ONGC Videsh, a subsidiary of Indian public sector enterprises. ONGC is there. So this ONGC is a public enterprise managed by Indian government. That's all. Okay. So Oil and Natural Gas Corporation, ONGC means what? ONGC's full form is Oil and Natural Gas Corporation. Okay, Oil and Natural Gas Corporation engaged in oil and gas exploration and production, has projects in 16 countries. See, this Indian company is operating from 16 countries nowadays, not only in India. There are in many other countries their operation is available. They are operating, they are giving job for thousands of people. Also we have Tata Steel. Tata Steel, a private company established in 1907, is one of the top 10 global steel companies in the world, which have operations in 26 countries. Tata Steel is operating, they are providing their service, their production is happening in 26 countries and sell its production in 50 countries, where they are selling around 50 countries. Their products are available around 60 countries, 50 countries. So their products are available in 50 countries. Okay, what they make? They make steel products, steel they make. So steel is of course needed for making buildings, construction, all those. It employs, see, the Tata Steel alone employs nearly 50,000 persons in the other country. So our Indian companies, we have many good Indian companies like ONGC, Tata Steel, from Indian company. All these are Indian company. Indian company means Tata Steel is a private organization, but that is an Indian root, Indian company. Its head office in India. So what is happening? They are also, both these companies are providing job. Not only these companies, but there are many other companies. We can come to know that these are the HCL Technologies, one of the top 5 IT companies in India, has office in 31 countries and employs about 15,000 persons abroad. See, HCL Technologies, one of the top 5 IT companies in the world. What is happening? They are also providing job for more than 15,000 people are working there. Also see the Reddy's, Dr. Reddy's Laboratories, initially was a small company, it was a small company, but nowadays what is? They have big setup. Okay, laboratories initially was a small company supplying pharmaceutical goods to big Indian companies. Initially in the beginning they were actually supplying pharmaceutical goods to many other Indian companies. Today they are manufacturing, they have manufacturing plants and research centers across the world. They almost in every country they have their service. Okay, they are exporting their medicines to many countries. They have even manufacturing units in many other countries. So I hope you understood this paragraph. This paragraph is also talking about globalization. Only because of globalizations many Indian companies could move to other countries and provide their better service there. Okay, so for example ONGC is there, Oil and Natural Gas Corporation. Also Tata Steel is very important. Tata Steel is very famous, you know. Tata Steel is also operating in many other countries. Okay, so in 16 countries they are providing their service. So in the world, 26 countries they are operating. ONGC is operating from 16 countries. Okay, so many countries. There is no, that point is not that much important, but you must remember that all these Indian companies are providing their services in many other foreign countries. That only. Then HCL is one of the top 5 IT companies in India, has offices in 31 countries and employs about 15,000 persons. Dr. Reddy's Lab, pharmaceutical company, they are also like that. In the beginning they were actually, what they were doing? They were supplying pharmaceutical goods to big Indian companies. But nowadays what happened? Now what they are doing? They have manufacturer unit in many countries. So these are the main points you need to understand. So accountancy, banking services, music recording, film editing, book transcription, clinical advice or even teaching are being outsourced by companies in developed countries to India. See, outsourcing is happening nowadays. Okay, nowadays you know that actually globalization happened, so more Indian companies are working in other countries and other countries work also. We take contract, Indian companies take contract from other international companies. So what they do, we do complete their work here in this country and after that we return all those work to them. So mainly accountancy, banking services, music recording, film editing. Okay, we have one of the best film industries in the world here in Mumbai. So you know that Mumbai film industry. So they also do film editing here, then book transcription, translation, then clinical advice or even teaching are being outsourced by companies in developed countries to India. Now what is happening? India got rich resources. We have human resources, very skilled, highly educated people we have. So that English speaking people we have. So that what is happening? Our technicians, our skilled, highly professional people move to other countries. They are also serving there. The same time Indian companies also doing work for other international companies by operating, by setting up their setup in India. So outsourcing is actually, we are taking work from other countries like America, Australia, Japan, Britain, all those countries from other business organizations are giving their work to Indian companies. So Indian companies finish their work and return all those work to them. Okay, that is what actually outsourcing is happening. With the help of modern telecommunication links including the internet, the text, voice and visual data in respect of these services is digitized and transmitted in real time over continents and national boundaries. What will happen? Nowadays you know the technology changed the lives. Technology transformed the global world actually. Globalization happened, technology transformed the world, transition already occurred. When the transition started in India, the changes started in India, globalization started after 1991. We have already studied all those things actually. Now technology, science and technology, telecommunication, all those developed, so that outsourcing is also very fast nowadays. So there is no boundaries at all, there is no boundaries. Within second we can send information to any other countries, so that any country can give their, any country and its international companies can give their work to India, they can give their, share their work to Indian companies. So that is what actually outsourcing. So Indian companies are having skilled, highly educated professional people, they complete their work here, then send back to the other country or the companies which give work to us. Okay, that is what most multinational corporations and even small companies are outsourcing their services to India. Why? Because we have highly skilled, talented people we have. So nowadays what is happening, mainly more multinational corporations and even small companies from other countries also outsourcing their services to India, where they can be availed at a cheaper cost with reasonable degree of skill and accuracy. Why do they outsource their work to India? Because here we have highly educated, talented people, skilled professional people, so that what is actually, what benefit they get? Here what they can, where they can, here they can be availed at a cheaper cost with reasonable degree of skill and accuracy. That is what actually. Why? Because we have skilled people, we have professional, highly talented people, they are perfectionists, they can do their work very accurately. So all these country need not spend more money, because you know that the transaction will happen only in Indian money, so that actually they can earn, the other foreign companies can also make profit by outsourcing. That is what. Okay, the low wage rates and availability of skilled manpower, that is the point you need to remember. What is the low wage rates and availability of skilled manpower in India have made it a destination for global outsourcing in the post-reform period. That is what actually. So after the reform, what is the reform? The new economic policy by which the liberalization, privatization and globalization started in India. Then what is happening after implementing this reform? What happened after implementing this new economic policy? What happened? The low wage rates and availability of skilled manpower in India have made it a destination. India is a destination for other countries to outsource, for outsourcing, or to they can outsource their work to India. You got it? I trust you understood the point.